be dearly missed. So we wish him the best in his future endeavors. Well, we have a resolution here, and Charles and I get to present these on various occasions, and it's always a special time. I don't typically read the entire resolution, but I believe you would like for me to. Is that correct? And I think it would be warranted if that's okay, if y'all don't mind. It's it's not terribly lengthy. You got enough time. Let me see if I can do this here with the wind going here. I think we can make it work. A resolution sponsored by Representative Charles Sargent, Senator Jack Johnson, Senator Douglas Henry, and by the way, I bring regards from our colleagues from Williamson County, Representative Jeremy Durham and Representative Glenn Cassida, who also co-sponsored the resolution. They couldn't be here with us, but they certainly send their regards. A resolution to recognize citizens for Old Natchez Trace for their efforts to save and preserve segments of the Old Natchez Trace in Williamson County. Whereas it is fitting that the members of this General Assembly should pause to recognize the unique history of this state and praise the efforts of those organizations that succeed in preserving our historical treasures. And whereas the Natchez Trace followed a geographic ridgeline first tread by prehistoric animals from the dry ground between the salt licks of central Tennessee to the grazing land southward towards the Mississippi River. And whereas numerous prehistoric indigenous Indian settlements are connected with the Natchez Trace, the Old Town Mississippian Indian mounds and many stone box Indian graves made of limestone lie underneath and alongside the path of the original Natchez Trace, where the Smithsonian Institute has uncovered artifacts at the Old Town Indian Mound site that date from 900 and 1450. And whereas early European explorers depended on the assistance of Native American guides, particularly the Choctaw and Chickasaw, to traverse the miserable conditions of the trail, which was used for centuries by Native people. And whereas, in an effort to connect the Mississippi frontier to settled areas of the country in 1801, President Thomas Jefferson ordered the development and construction of a postal road between Nashville and Natchez, Mississippi. The United States Army and civilian contractors completed the road in 1809, and the Natchez Trace quickly became a vital trading route. And whereas in the 1820s, steamboats revolutionized commerce and trade by providing more efficient, quicker, and cheaper means of transporting goods, with this, the Mississippi River became the predominant trading route between and the Natchez Trace became less significant. And whereas, although the Natchez Trace lost its prominence, it remained to be the only reliable land link between the eastern states and the trading ports of Mississippi and Louisiana, and continued to be a fundamental resource to the people living in its vicinity. And whereas over time, sections of the Old Natchez Trace were converted to county roads for continued use, an original 4-mile stretch of the Old Natchez Trace in western Williamson County from Old Hillsboro Road to Sneed Road remains an operational part of the county's road system. And whereas last year, the original settlement of the Old Natchez Trace, the oldest remaining operational road in the United States, was targeted for road widening and tree removal by the Williamson County Highway Department, and whereas Citizens for Old Natchez Trace, an organization of citizens concerned with saving, preserving, and protecting this unique historic road, joined together with the plea, help us save Old Natchez Trace, we want it paved in place, not erased, in order to stop the county's road widening project, which threatens sensitive archaeological sites and fragile landscape. And whereas this short 4-mile piece of the Old Natchez Trace contains numerous National Historical Register sites, including Forest Home, Montpelier, and Old Town, which includes the Brown House, the Old Town Bridge built in 1801 by United States soldiers, and the Old Town Mississippian Indian Mounds. Other historic sites include Stokely Davis House, Covington Farm, Old Natchez Trace, Knight Moran House, Ash Grove, and the Daughters of the American Revolution stone monument commemorating the Natchez Trace. And whereas the area is abundant in scenic treasures, both man-made and natural, that enhance the aesthetic beauty of this ancient river road, including significant sections of century-old dry stack stone walls, hedgerows, daffodils planted by the original residents, and trees that canopy the Harpeth River, protecting its water quality. And whereas, about 8 more pages to go. Whereas in 2001, Scenic America, a national organization dedicated to protecting natural beauty and distinctive community character, designated the landscape surrounding the Old Natchez Trace as a last chance landscape and one of the top 10 most endangered places in America. And whereas Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson, chairman of the Williamson County Highway Commission, agreed with the Forest Home Community's request to adopt and apply a sensitive repaving and restoration template to this historic treasure, and whereas during the spring and summer of 2014, work will begin to pave the Old Natchez Trace and return the previously widened sections of the road back to its narrower width. The tree canopy will remain, and state archaeologists will monitor the sensitive and culturally significant part of the Old Natchez Trace, where ground-penetrating radar has revealed 182 prehistoric Indian grave sites alongside and under the existing roadbed. And finally, whereas the General Assembly finds it appropriate to pause in its deliberations to acknowledge and applaud this exemplary organization for their dedication to the state of Tennessee and its citizens, let it be resolved by the Senate of the 108th General Assembly of the state of Tennessee, the House of Representatives concurring, that we recognize citizens for Old Natchez Trace for working assiduously in their efforts to save and preserve segments of the Old Natchez Trace, which is an asset to Tennessee's heritage and deserves protection as one of the state's greatest historical treasures. Signed, Governor Bill Haslam.
All right.
If Charles would like to make a remark, and Senator
And
Senator
we also have Patrick McIntyre.
Yeah, Patrick,
as well.
come on
So
up from
everybody,
the